The stars above Tala were quiet. It was a small farming planet lost in the edge of a forgotten galaxy. The people of Tala were peaceful. They grew crops. They raised animals. They never trained for war. They never expected it. But war came anyway. One night the sky turned red. Loud engines broke the silence as black warships appeared above the fields. No warning, no message, just fire. The people screamed as houses burned. Villages were destroyed in minutes. The enemy had no face, no name, just masks and weapons. They took food. They took people. The helpless ones were taken first. In a small corner of the planet, hidden inside a ruined school, a young alien girl named Rena hugged her baby brother. Her big purple eyes were full of fear, but she stayed quiet. Her father had told her to protect her brother. No matter what happens, Rena, stay strong. But Rena was shaking. The enemy soldiers were near. Their boots crushed broken glass outside. Their shadows passed the windows. One wrong sound, one breath too loud, and they would be found. But Rena was smart. In the school's old control room, she found a working transmitter. The button blinked red. It was still alive. Still, reaching out into space, with trembling fingers she pressed record. "This is Tala," she whispered. "We are under attack. We are not fighters. We are farmers. They are taking us. They are hurting children. Please. If anyone hears this, please help us. We are dying." She sent the message. It vanished into the stars. And then, silence. Again, far away, beyond dozens of star systems on a blue and green planet called Earth, the message reached a satellite. The signal was picked up by the United Human Space Command. Inside a giant space station, a young officer sat straight as the message played in his ear. His face turned pale. "Commander," he called, "you need to hear this." Commander Cade stood tall. His body was full of scars. He had seen war. Too much war. He walked to the screen, listened to the message once, then twice. He didn't speak for a long time. Behind him, other officers waited for his word. Finally, Cade spoke. "Where is this planet?" "Unknown system. Outer zone. No defense. No alliance. Just farmers, sir." "Any known attackers?" "Negative. No ID, no response, just fire." Cade looked out the station window. Earth's warships floated silently nearby. Each one had weapons that could break moons, but they were sleeping, waiting. He turned back to the officers. "Record my voice." They nodded. He spoke clearly. "To the people of Tala, your message reached us. You are not alone." Back on Tala, Rena didn't know anyone heard her. Her village was gone. Her mother was missing. Her father was taken away, maybe dead. She stayed inside the school with a few survivors. They shared water. They ate dry roots. They prayed not to gods, but to the stars. "Do you think someone will come?" one boy asked. Rena looked up. The stars blinked quietly. "I don't know," she said. "But I hope." Outside, the enemy soldiers laughed. They set more fires. One of them picked up an old doll from the ground and crushed it with his boot. "Look at them," the soldier said. "So weak. No one will help them." But high above, hidden in deep space, something began to move. Earth's warships started to wake. The human fleet had been silent for many years. After the last war, Earth promised peace. But peace doesn't mean weakness. Peace means choosing when to fight. And now, the choice was made. From Earth's military base, dozens of ships began to launch. Their engines roared like angry gods. Pilots put on helmets. Soldiers held their breath. A message flashed on every screen. Operation. Tala response. Status. Immediate. Inside one of the warships, Commander Cade stood before a map. The planet. Tala blinked red. He placed a hand on the screen. "You thought no one would answer," he whispered. "Now, we're coming." The stars had carried her voice. Rena's message, soft and full of fear, had traveled across cold space. It crossed dead zones, silent nebulae, and sleeping satellites. Most machines ignored it, but one did not. Earth's deep space relay station. 9 picked it up by accident. Inside the station, a bored communication officer named Jiro was drinking cold tea. His screen blinked once, blue, then red. He sighed. Probably another pirate signal or broken asteroid scanner. He clicked it open, lazily. Then he froze. He turned the volume up. "They are hurting children. Please help us." He didn't move. He didn't blink. Within 60 seconds, the entire station was on high alert. Commander Cade stood in the command room of Earth's Orbital Fleet HQ. The room was dark, filled with holograms, data streams, and tension. He stared at the message. Again. Rena's voice repeated softly in the air. "Please, we are dying." Everyone in the room was silent. Finally, someone spoke. "Sir, the signal is old. Could be a trap. Could be fake." Cade didn't even turn his head. "She's not lying. Listen to her voice." Another general stepped forward. "Even if it's real, that planet is not in Earth's protectorate. No treaty. No reason to respond." Cade turned now. His eyes were sharp. "They are helpless, and someone is targeting them." He looked around the room. "You remember what it was like, when Earth was the one begging, when no one came." That shut them up. In a secret chamber beneath the command floor, Earth's true strength was sleeping. The Ghost Fleet, 79 warships, not shown in public, not listed in treaties, built for one reason: respond to threats with zero delay. Admiral Ross, the oldest active fleet leader, entered the chamber with quiet steps. The door scanned his body, then opened with a soft hiss. He walked past the ships, huge black sharp-edged beasts, weapons that could pierce planets, engines that ran silent. No bright colors, no banners, just war. He smiled. "It's been a while," he whispered. Across Earth, all major military branches received the alert. Priority Echo 0. Only used once before, decades ago, when Earth itself was invaded. Now, it lit up again. Pilots who had retired were called back. Shipyards that had gone cold lit up again. Scientists started calculating warp jumps. And one message spread among them all like wildfire. They hurt children. They thought no one would. "Come, we're coming." Far from Earth, in a dark moon base orbiting Saturn, a single human AI satellite activated. It was one of Earth's oldest and most dangerous weapons. It spoke just once. "Do I have permission to prepare the Starfire weapon?" Admiral Ross answered, "Yes." Meanwhile, the attackers on Tala laughed louder each day. They found no resistance. No weapons, only frightened farmers, sick children, and burned homes. "Easy loot," one of them said. "No one even knows this rock exists." Another added, "And even if they did, who would come all the way out here for these insects?" They didn't know. In deep space, Earth ships were already on the move, not just any ships. Ghost Fleet Prime, led by Commander Cade and Admiral Ross, 59 ships in formation, silent, cold, burning fast through space, each one painted black. No warnings, no mercy. In the final meeting before launch, Commander Cade looked at his team. Soldiers, pilots, engineers, men and women who had seen horrors and survived. He stood tall. "Listen carefully. We are not here to send messages. We are not here to take prisoners. We are not here to make speeches." He paused. "We are going to Tala. We are going to stop the enemy. And then," he pointed at a glowing red symbol on the map, "we are going to make sure they never target the helpless again." The stars did not whisper now. They trembled. Because humanity was coming. Night came early now on planet Tala. Not because the sun was gone, but because the smoke blocked it. Fires burned without stopping. The trees glowed red in the distance. Ash fell from the sky like slow rain. Everything smelled like death. Though enemy ships floated above like monsters watching from the dark. They did not speak to the villagers. They didn't need to. Every day they landed more machines. giant steel walkers with spider legs and red glowing eyes. They searched for the last. Hiding places, they took more people. Anyone who resisted was burned. No one came to help. The children had stopped crying. Even hope had gone silent. Rena stayed hidden in the broken school basement with 8 other survivors. Her baby brother coughed in her arms. His skin was hot. He had no medicine, no blanket, just her. A boy named Kuro sat near the old pipes, sharpening a piece of broken metal. "They'll find us soon," he said, eyes cold. "They're sweeping the south side." Rena didn't answer. She looked up at the cracked ceiling. Was anyone out there? Had her message vanished? Then, the ground shook, just once, but strong. Kuro stood. "That's not one of their ships. Too big." Outside, the enemy soldiers froze. They looked up at the sky with sudden confusion. In orbit above Tala, something massive moved through the shadows. It had no engine sound, no bright lights, but it was there, big as a mountain, cold as death. A black shape sliding between stars. The first enemy scanner picked it up, but too late. Unidentified object. Moving fast, mass size unknown, then silence. The scanner melted. On the ground, the sky began to change. One of the moons, always white and still, turned red. Not blood red, brighter, sharper. Then, it vanished. No one knew it was a cloaked human ship blocking the light. Then the cloud split in half. Not from wind, but from something cutting through the air with such force that nature itself stepped aside. A ship appeared. Slow, massive, terrifying. It did not glow. It did not roar. It just existed, like a god arriving, late to a funeral. The lead alien commander stared at the sight and whispered, "What is that?" Commander Cade stood inside the ship's bridge, calm as ever. He watched the burning fields of Tala on the screen. His eyes did not blink. "Open all cloaks," he said. Now. All around the sky, more ships appeared, one after another. Dozens, the human fleet. Ships with names like Justice, Stormbone, Echo's Blade, and Vengeance of Dawn. They formed a circle in the sky above Tala, watching, waiting. On the ground, the enemy started to panic. "This isn't a trade fleet," one whispered. "They're warships, Earth warships. But Earth doesn't send ships for aliens, especially not farmers." They did now. And then, the warning shot came. A single bolt of blue light. It did not hit anything. It erased a mountain. Not destroyed, not shattered. Erased. There was nothing left but falling dust. The message was clear. Run or burn. Back in the school basement, Kuro stared at the sky. His mouth hung open. "Rena, look." Rena ran out and gasped. The sky was full of ships, sharp and strong, nothing like the enemy's. And in that moment, her heart did something strange. It beat with hope again. She whispered, "They came." And far above, Admiral Ross looked at the burning planet and said only one thing: "Begin the operation." They had mocked the stars. The invaders thought Tala was forgotten, just another weak world to crush and loot. No soldiers, no allies, no hope. They were wrong, because Earth's fleet had arrived, not with speeches, not with warnings, but with silence and power. The first attack was not seen. It was felt. A deep vibration rolled through the clouds like thunder being born inside the sky. Trees shook. Dust lifted from the ground. The enemy looked up and saw nothing. Then came the scream. Not from a person, from a ship. The Vengeance of Dawn, a sleek black vessel shaped like a blade, dove from the sky like a falling star. It glowed with blue plasma across its wings, and it sliced through an enemy cruiser before it could even aim. No fire. No explosion, just a clean cut. And the alien warship fell in half. The enemy soldiers screamed in shock. How fast is that thing? Then came the second wave. From orbit, Earth's fleet began to move. 79 ships, each one carrying hundreds of elite soldiers, drones, tanks, and weapons that no other race in the galaxy dared to copy. They moved like predators, fast, quiet, unstoppable. Commander Cade, standing tall inside the lead ship Iron Mercy, gave the order, "Deploy swarm units. Lock every escape route. No one leaves." A soft, robotic voice answered, "Order confirmed. Operation Judgment begins." And from the ship's belly, the skies opened. Tiny black pods shot down like raindrops. Thousands of them, enemy scanners, tried to track them, but they moved too fast. The pods hit the ground, bounced once, and opened with sharp metal arms. From inside, human soldiers emerged, covered in armor, eyes glowing, weapons humming with power. The enemy ran. They were not fast enough. On the east side of the Tala forest, a full alien command post was hit in less than 9 minutes. No warnings, no survivors. A single human soldier was caught on enemy cams walking through the flames. The enemy shot him. Nothing happened. They shot again. The human turned slowly, aimed once, and ended them all. In the orbit above, the alien fleet tried to flee too late. Earth's ships had already predicted every move. Gates were blocked, engines were hacked. One by one, the invader ships exploded in the cold silence of space. Admiral Ross watched from his chair, calm as ice. He sipped his tea and said, "Now they learn why Earth stays quiet. Not because we are weak, but because we remember." Back, on the ground, Rena and the others ran outside. They couldn't believe their eyes. Human dropships landed all across the valley, opening with thunder and light. Soldiers helped carry injured villagers. Medbots healed wounds in seconds. Food packs were given out. "Who are they?" one child asked. Rena stared, her eyes wide with tears. "They're humans," she said softly. "The ones we were told never interfere." Kuro asked, "Why would they come for us?" Rena smiled. "Because someone listened. At the alien HQ, the commanders argued. They're humans. They weren't supposed to care about border planets. They were supposed to be lazy, peaceful. Where did they get this kind of fleet?" The leader growled, "It doesn't matter. Prepare the last weapon, we'll burn the whole village." But as he reached for the controls, his screen blinked. A human face appeared. Commander Cade. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He just said one thing. "Touch the children, and your world ends next." The alien commander's hand froze, and for the first time, he felt fear. Humans did not come to Tala for land, not for power, not for revenge. They came because they remembered. Long ago, Earth had cried for help. When alien empires burned its skies, no one answered. The rich worlds called them too primitive. The peaceful ones stayed silent. The strong ones looked away. So Earth learned the hard way. They rebuilt in secret. They trained. They watched. They remembered the faces of their dead and the silence that followed. Now, when another world cried out, Earth became the answer they never had. Inside the ruins of Tala's capital, the streets were littered with broken machines and shattered buildings. The smoke still rose, but now it carried a different sound. Marching boots. Human soldiers moved. In perfect lines, not shouting, not celebrating, just doing what had to be done. One child looked out from a cracked wall and saw a soldier kneeling beside an alien elder. The soldier gave her water, fixed her arm, and wrapped her in a warm blanket. "Quail?" Elder asked in a shaking voice. "Oh, why are you here, human?" The soldier didn't smile. He just said, "Because no one else came." At the center of the battlefield, the enemy commander, General Vorax, stood trembling inside a half-destroyed bunker. His elite guards were gone, his ships destroyed. His last tank burned in the field behind him. He pressed a button. A message flashed. Surrender? He hesitated, then pressed No up above inside Earth's command ship Iron Mercy. Commander Cade watched the enemy bunker on screen. The system offered him choices. Option A, full assault. Option B, warning. Option C, let them escape. He tapped none. Instead, he opened the intercom to the entire enemy frequency. His voice echoed in every invader's ear. You targeted the helpless. You destroyed villages. You hurt the innocent. And you laughed while doing it. Now listen carefully. This is not just a battle. This is a message from Earth. If you ever touch the weak again, we will come. And next time, we will not stop. Then he gave the order. Strike. But spare the children. 10 seconds later, a rain of fire came from above. But this was no wild attack. It was precise. Each bomb landed on enemy equipment. Tanks exploded. Guns melted. Bunkers vanished. But civilian homes? Untouched. The message was loud. Earth knows how to destroy. Earth chooses not to. Until pushed, General Vorax ran from the flames. He screamed orders, but no one followed him. He reached a shuttle, tried to start it. The engines failed. He hit the control screen and saw a human ship hovering above, silent, still, aiming right at him. The screen flashed. Surrender? He hit yes this time, and the shuttle door locked him inside. Back in the fields, Rena sat with her baby brother beside a small fire. She stared at the sky, full of human ships that now looked like angels with armor. Kuro walked up and said, "It's over, I think." Rena looked at him. "No, it's beginning." He blinked. "What do you mean?" She smiled. "They showed up for us. That means they'll show up again. For others. People will know. They'll remember this." She picked up a small human food pack and hugged it to her chest. "For the first time in history," she said softly, "humans became the ones who came when no one else would. And across the galaxy, all who were watching from shadows began to whisper Earth's name with fear. The galaxy had always seen Earth as quiet, a small planet. Blue oceans, green forests, soft people, peaceful, strange, slow, but they didn't know that Earth's silence was never weakness, it was restraint. Now that restraint was gone, and the galaxy would never forget what happened next. The last of the enemy ships tried to run. They shot blindly into the sky, hoping to break the human wall. But Earth's ships didn't move. They didn't need to move. They absorbed the hits. They waited. And when the signal came from Commander Cade, just 2 words, "Now, end it." Earth's fleet unleashed hell. Above Tala, the stars seemed to vanish. Not because of darkness. Because of fire. Missiles launched in perfect rhythm, dancing across space like red arrows. Laser beams curved through gravity fields. Railguns cracked open cruisers like paper. The enemy's flagship, twice the size of a city, was ripped apart in 3 seconds. Not even a scream came from it, only silence. Down below, the ground shook like it was alive. Enemy war machines, hidden deep in the jungle, were picked off one by Earth's orbital snipers. Bullets so fast, the targets died before hearing the shot. Drones shaped like birds flew into caves and released flash ice bombs, freezing everything inside, but leaving survivors unharmed. Earth didn't fight with anger. It fought with calculation. Every strike, chosen. Every target marked, no mistake. General Vorax, locked in the human-controlled shuttle, watched everything on a screen. He fell to his knees. "They weren't supposed to be this strong," he whispered. "They weren't supposed to care." A robotic voice answered, cold and final. "They remembered. You made them remember." In the center of Tala's largest battlefield, Admiral Ross walked calmly from a dropship. He didn't wear full armor, just a long black coat and a small hand weapon on his belt. Alien survivors stared at him from behind rocks and broken buildings. He looked around, eyes sharp but tired. Then he raised a small silver cube. With a soft hum, it created a 3D hologram of all surviving villagers. "This is what we protect," he said quietly. "This is why Earth came." Then he gave the final command. "Begin cleanup. No more enemy ships, no more stolen children. No more fear. And so it began. Earth soldiers moved through every ruined town, rescuing survivors, healing the wounded, and securing the last. Pockets of enemy resistance. Enemy soldiers dropped their weapons without being asked. They looked at the humans, not as enemies, but as judges. Near the end of the day, Rena stood in the middle of her broken village, but it didn't look broken anymore. Humans were building shelters. Lights glowed from new power stations. A medic gave her brother a small, glowing cube that healed his cough in seconds. She looked up at the sky one more time. The war was over. But something had started. Something bigger. In a hidden part of the galaxy, far from Tala, the leaders of powerful alien empires watched the footage. They watched Earth's ships. They watched Earth's silence turn into fire. One leader stood and said, "This changes everything." Another nodded slowly. They came for farmers, for strangers. They didn't ask for gold or land, just justice. A third leader, shaking, said, "If we ever face Earth in battle, we will not survive." And in the quiet cold of deep space, where stars are born and galaxies drift, a simple truth spread like wildfire. Do not target the helpless. Because Earth is listening, and Earth will come. The smoke had cleared, the fires had died, but the memory remained, like a scar in the sky. Tala was quiet again, but not the same. The silence now was not fear, it was peace. And the name whispered on every corner of the planet was Earth. Children played in the dirt where tanks once stood. Soldiers handed out bread instead of bullets, and in every village a silver cube glowed, Earth's gift of light, power, and healing. Rena sat beside her baby brother under a tree that had survived the fire. She watched human engineers fix the village school, not just repair, rebuild, stronger, safer, brighter. She looked at the sky, now filled with stars again. One star blinked strangely. She smiled. "That one's a ship," she whispered. "He's watching us." Inside the command ship Iron Mercy, Commander Cade stood on the bridge, arms crossed. He watched Tala from orbit. Behind him, Admiral Ross stepped in slow and silent. "She smiled," Cade said. Ross raised an eyebrow. "Who?" "The girl, Rena, the one who sent the message. I saw her smile today." Ross nodded. "Then we did our job." They didn't say more. They didn't need to. Back in Earth's High Council, leaders gathered to discuss the operation. Some wanted to keep it secret. But the story had already spread. Footage leaked. Stories told. Across thousands of worlds, the name Earth had changed. It was no longer just a planet. It was a warning, a shield, a promise. In a trading post on a mining planet, a group of rough alien smugglers talked over drinks. "Did you hear what happened on Tala?" "Yeah. The humans showed up, tore everything apart, saved the villagers. They say their ships don't make sound until it's too late. They don't send diplomats. They send fire." Another smuggler leaned in and whispered, "They're calling them something new now." Everyone leaned closer. He said it slowly. "The Guardians with fire." In the deep council chamber of the Central Galactic Union, a nervous ambassador asked, "Should we open an alliance with Earth?" A general stood up. "Yes, and fast, because next time, we might need them." A senator whispered, "Or we might be the next target, if we ever turn cruel." The room fell silent. No one dared argue. Back on Tala, Rena placed a small drawing on the wall of the rebuilt school. It showed a human soldier holding hands with a small alien girl. Both smiling. Kuro stood behind her, arms crossed. "You're famous now. The girl who called the humans." She looked at him and said, "I wasn't calling soldiers." "Then, what?" She smiled. "I was calling someone who cared." And far above, the human fleet began to move again. One by one, the ships turned their engines toward the stars. Not to conquer, but to watch, to wait, and to listen. Because now, Earth had a new purpose. They were not the forgotten world anymore. They were the voice that answered, the fire that shielded the weak, the judgment that came for the cruel, and the galaxy would never be the same. Because from this day on, when the helpless cried into the void, they no longer whispered, "Is anyone out there?" They whispered, "Call Earth."